Did you know that South Africa has seen a staggering 67% decline in new company registrations in 2024? Now, this is very critical, especially with entrepreneurship as seen as a crucial path towards economic recovery. Now, this also raises a lot of questions, but two questions stand out. Now, the first question is, what is behind these statistics? What could be the cause of such a staggering figure in the decline in new company registrations? And secondly, how does this impact business sentiment and the future of business in South Africa moving forward? Stay tuned as we dive deep into the reasons behind this decline in new company registrations, as well as the kind of impact that it will have on the economy of South Africa in general. Hello, welcome back. I'm Kenneth, and this is results-oriented preparation, where early preparation equals excellent results. If you're new here, please do consider subscription to the channel. We really appreciate your efforts, and thank you to all our new subscribers. Now, in 2024, South Africa has experienced this 67% drop in new company registration. Now, please, this is not just a statistic. Now, this is a reflection of the underlying challenges and the business sentiments that are out there. And in this video, we're going to delve deep into exactly what has caused this decline in new company registrations and how it's going to impact you as a prospective entrepreneur, as other businesses, as well as individuals, and the impact that this has on the South African economy as a whole. Let's dive in. So let's begin by breaking down the possible reasons why there has been a decline in new company registrations. The first one is economic slowdown. Now, we have seen an economic slump in 2024 third quarter results saying that there's been a decline of 0.3% in economic growth in South Africa. Now, what this means is that if you're an investor out there or any foreign investors looking into South Africa, this becomes a deterrent. It's a discouraging outlook, saying that if the economy is declining, therefore foreign investors usually shy away from such economies. Now, this is the link there. If there is no foreign direct investment, seeing that South Africa is an economy that depends mostly on foreign direct investment coming in order to basically make use of resources and also create the much needed infrastructure to push the economy forward. Now, if we have this foreign direct investment, it also means that the foreign investors that are coming in are also dependent on local suppliers being available to make sure that they give them the right kind of resources as and when they need them. Now, the local businesses always will look forward to these big foreign direct investments coming in so that they can also participate in building businesses that will supply these investors. Now, if that is not the case, then you'll find the local entrepreneurs shying away, because now monies that are supposed to have come in that will trickle down to the small entrepreneurs in maybe in the primary sector and so forth does not come in, and as such this becomes a negative impact that will always restrict people and discourage them from venturing out into entrepreneurship. The second reason is high operational cost. There has been the most part of 2024 a high inflation cost, meaning that the cost of resources, the cost of operations either energy or whatever the case might be, has always been on a high. Of course, in the third quarter coming to the fourth quarter, we have seen a decrease in inflation, which is possibly a good statistic moving forward into 2025. But for the most part of 2024, operational costs have been quite high, and these have always been amongst the factors that have sort of dampened the venturing out of new entrepreneurs into this much needed sector. So as a result, you find a circumstance where, because a new and prospective entrepreneurs anticipate that operational cost will be so high for them to be profitable in the market, they will then shy away and wait for what they think will be an opportune moment with lower cost of doing business. So this has been one of those reasons that has led to a decline in new business registrations. The third reason is regulatory challenges. Now, obviously, a legislation change, and with new legislation, or the legal background of running businesses will also change. With regulation changing, it means that there are certain stipulations that probably prospective entrepreneurs do not agree with, and as such, you find that a lot of people remain in the informal sector where they are running unregistered businesses, and as a result, this might be one of the reasons why the statistic has been so high as far as new company and new business registrations are concerned. The fourth reason is business sentiments. Obviously, when we're talking about sentiments, we're saying that there are certain attitudes that are linked to emotions where people are considering entrepreneurship and looking at it, they are seeing only negatives out there instead of seeing the positives of going into entrepreneurship. And most of these could be either the political background in South Africa and all the other circumstances, either in communities and so forth, especially looking at high levels of unemployment, looking at higher inflations and so forth. This always has got a negative impact that it has on business sentiments, thereby making people refrain from venturing out into entrepreneurship. So basically, prospective entrepreneurs are thinking now is not the right time to venture out, and as such, you have lesser and lesser people registering for their businesses. Having said this, now let's look at the implications. What are the implications on South Africa in general and on the economy? Now, the first negative implication there is a job creation, a decrease in job creation. Now, we have spoken before of a 64% level of youth unemployment in South Africa. Now, this figure, though high, doesn't seem like it's going to change anytime soon, because with lesser businesses opening up, therefore it means that there are lesser job opportunities that are going to be created. So therefore, the issue of unemployment remains one of the most critical issues in South Africa moving forward, especially with this decrease in business registrations, because businesses, no matter small, medium, even large corporations, these are central to reducing unemployment in a country like South Africa. So if new businesses are not opening up, therefore, it means that unemployment will remain a very problematic issue moving forward. Now, the second implication is that of a decline in economic growth. We know that economic growth is measured in GDP. We have seen already by third quarter a decrease of 0.3% in the economic growth of South Africa. So basically, if no new businesses are opening up, it means that the level of output that is produced, which are your goods and your services, will decline. If this decline, it means that there is also a decline in economic growth. Now, economic growth is essential for any other country, especially in this case. If the country is to absorb unemployment and to create better prospects for its citizens, there has to be economic growth. Now, if that is not the case as we are seeing right now, it means that bigger and other problems will begin to show up. One of those problems is the third implication, and this third implication is less revenues raised by the government. Now, this is critical, especially with a very big social welfare budget. The government has to be in a position to raise a lot of revenue from taxation, either direct or indirect tax. Now, your direct tax will include income tax, either from salaries. Remember, South Africa use pay as you earn for people that are working. So meaning that as people are employed and they earn more, the government makes more. However, on the other hand, we have also income tax, which is paid by businesses. Now, we've already mentioned that lesser and lesser businesses are being registered. Therefore, it means that there is lesser and lesser revenues expected to be raised from direct tax by the government. Already we have seen in the previous years, and I'm sure even this year is the same thing, where SARS have failed to meet their targets for revenues. Therefore, it means that this becomes a recurring problem. And if it's a recurring problem, government income is reduced, and if it is reduced, other macroeconomic obligations that the government has will not have the right kind of funding that they must have in order to propel the nation forward. The next implication is a greater and more increased dependency on imports. Now, for an economy to grow, we need to, that there is a economic policy called import substitution, which means that you have a situation where the local businesses then are the ones that are producing the output that is required, thereby substituting the demand for imports by locally made goods. But in this case, if lesser and lesser businesses are opening up, lesser and lesser products and services will be produced. Therefore, this increases dependency on imports. Now, the dependence on imports is quite bad for an economy, because what it means that if you are consuming goods from outside of your country, the money goes back to the country of origin where those goods are from. Therefore, you are basically contributing to the gross national income of another country, because the money is going elsewhere. For instance, if South Africa is buying more and more German produced goods or Chinese produced goods, it means that China is the one that benefits more. You become more and more of a state that is consumption based instead of a production oriented nation. So that is a problem on its own. Having said this, although it seems as if the outlook is negative, there are certain things that the government is doing to make sure that this will change. Some of these are venturing into bilateral agreements with other states to ensure that they bring about the much needed foreign direct investment into the nation, thereby ensuring that there is a move or a growth in industry and so forth. Now, this will also ensure that there is an increase in government revenue and a greater participation of local industries in production of goods and services moving forward. However, what needs to be seen is whether there is going to be the right kind of legal framework or background that is needed moving forward to ensure a greater participation of prospective entrepreneurs in pushing the productive capacity of the nation forward. I'm interested to hear from you exactly what is your take concerning the new company registration in South Africa. Are you a prospective entrepreneur who wanted to register your business in 2024 and did not? Or have you postponed yours into the coming year 2025? Or are there any other reasons that are stopping you from registering your business? Or have you opted to be an informal business, and what are your reasons for doing so? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe and hit the notification button for fresh and exciting content that we are bringing your way. This is results-oriented preparation. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate all your support for pushing this channel forward. Thank you. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.